like, if you cannot hear something because you're too loud, even if you can't play complex things if you can't hear what you're playing with. It just can't happen. You gotta play simple and effectively. That means not even playing. It's like, because the goal is all for one, you know, this music, right? So, because I've heard Bill play the most tasty licks at just one hand,
Sure.
And it's just like, it's funky, it's functional, it's not like a chop showing kind of thing, but that's what keeps the ball rolling, and if that's job number one, that's what you're going for, I think. And it goes for horn players. It's like, I'm guilty of the same something. You know, I've overplayed myself a lot. I mean, it's like a disease sometimes, but you just have to, I'm trying to let it come to me when it's supposed to, and it'll come when it has to.
And that's the key.
Yeah.
Play only what you need to be effective.
Right.
It's easier said than done, because you already know so much that you want to drop it all in, you know, and it's a natural tendency. But if you just stop and think about what he's playing, he hasn't gone anywhere. All you gotta do is just you're there, and you haven't spent any time doing any energy. It already has played itself. What I want you guys to learn is how to let the drums represent you really. Just get out in front of all that stuff. Take all that stuff away and just play the notes that are effective. Okay. Give me a shuffle now. 1, 2, 3. it's all in the dynamic of dynamics. It's the dynamic of the music. If you play, eventually it's going to go, I can't hold it anymore. All right. Exactly. And what comes out is quite positive.
Yeah. Like,
you know.
I played in a blues band where you got fined. You played 16th notes and something like this.
Yeah.
And you really get looked, and you're not getting enough money because he didn't want people doing unnecessary shit. He got tired of it. So you guys are fined if you play 16th notes in your solos. So it would just get, so people would do is they just try to play what you're supposed to play, but just start getting so hot because it's just grooving and grinding and stuff. And something would happen, but it would be within the framework of it's finally right to happen, and it'll be cool. But when people are going to that resource too early in their presentation, so
Popping too fast.
It's so, yes sir.
15.
What's wrong with your hand? Okay.
Felt so good.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, you know. You got to remember that all of the stuff that you studied in school and you've learned is only good when you use it in the places that you need it.
Wow.
You don't need it every place. Most of the places you don't need it. You just need to play what you need to play. What is that? That's up to you. You know, so it just goes around. It's a cycle like this, you know. It's like, okay, I need to just lay it. And it always starts with something extremely simple. Just playing good time. A very complicated thing to do is just to lay it down. I mean, this is complicated. You know, contrary to popular belief, but it's 1, 2, 3. To know that tempo was one of the most complicated things you could play. But once you get that, you're off to the races. It's not that easy to do otherwise. You need to be able to interpret the tempo, what is said. 1, 2, 3, 4, back, and sustain that. If you can't do that, you've already lost.
Yeah, like most of my work is covering material, so I don't really solo or drum and a lot of that. My fills, my timing for fills is pretty solid, especially if I'm just copying somebody, right? But in general, I'm in this scenario, I felt like a little bit of spotlight here, got a little loud quick, and then I lost my tempo. So it's kind of a
that means that your priorities are wrong. Priority is to keep the tempo and play a solo within it.
Right.
So if you lose your tempo right off the bat, it's because you're playing, it's like I was told by a few musicians, don't worry, man, I'm not going to sound bad. I'm going to play my ass off. And then I said, well, what about the rest of the band? You know, what are we going to do when you're playing your ass off? Especially if it has nothing to do with what we're doing. Why we need you, you know? It's about the band effort.
yeah.
So if that in fact is true and we're all following that particular dogma, then it should be right here. That's there all the time, every time, all of it,
Filth.
right there. That's what we're talking about. You know, when all that other stuff is happening, and you're not doing this, it's criminal. You know, because it means that you're only thinking for you. Don't go there. If you're playing with a band, you have to be thinking for the band.
Sure.
The band face is most and all-encompassing, most important. So you lay it down for the band, and the band will help you. You know, the best compliment you can get is that the band sounded good.
Right.
As soon as somebody talks about you, they got a problem, because everybody else is like, so You know, that's important.
I'm sorry. I had this happens to me sometimes when I don't go to a concert and I ask my friends that, "How was the band, man?" "Oh, the drummer had a killer solo."
Yeah.
That doesn't tell me anything.
No.
And when he says the band was tight, I knew everything was on the one.
There you go.
You know.
Yeah, that's where you want to be. 100% of the time, it's not going to happen, but because we're human, and something's going to be a little bit askew. But if we can shoot for that, more than likely we'll have a positive average, and that's where you want to be. You know, you want to have a good time with everybody else, and part of the idea of a good time is knowing that you helped everybody else to have one, and they helped you to have it. Yeah. You know, now you're in the right place. That's when the band's rocking. You know, then that band will work forever. You know, you'd be tired of working, running away from people because you got too much work.
Like Billie Jean, for example. You know, the drummer is on that, right?
Jonathan Moffat.
Jonathan Moffat, right? Yeah. And everybody should hear of Jonathan Moffat because you never hear about like solos or written out, you know, transcriptions of solos because I don't know if he takes many, but he lays the best bed you're ever gonna lie in. My God, I mean, you know, him. That's what he's famous. You know, what he's known for, right? And the not noticing that, but just feeling it is when you notice it. You know, then I love that song. Why do I love that song? Because it's just so groovy. Well, why is it so groovy? Well, where's the foundation laid? Is, you know, and of course it's a marriage between the bass players and the drummers, but I think that's what you're saying. In another way, you know.
Yeah, like get back to priorities. It's just hold that tempo at no whatever it costs.
Yeah, but you see,
the fill's weak. The fill's weak, but hold the tempo, right?
But it's not just playing. It's not even playing it. It's in between. It's in the rest area. Okay, so I mean, it's when you're not playing, that tempo should still be happening. Okay, it should be just as loud in silence as it is when you're performing. Hey, everybody, we got to stop. Unfortunately for me, you know, I'm sorry, but
We'll be back in a little
life
bit.
goes on.